Okay, everybody, it is me, Gregory Mannarino. We can have fun today. Before I even get started, Bo Ploney, I blow ponies. He was right about one thing. I look terrible on camera. Okay, with that out of the way, people, look, we have work to do. It is Sunday, December 19th, 2021. Where to start with this video blog? You know what? Let's look back before we look forward here. And we are going to expose something on this video blog that you're just going to love here. And I'm talking about the Federal Reserve and their lies and their propaganda. It's just out of control, people. I don't know another way to put it. So let's look back here. What's going on? What happened last week? A massive, and I mean massive, fear campaign with moronic, Omicron, whatever it is here. And it's rattling the markets. When you have, well, am I going to be nice? No, I'm not going to. Our illustrious retard president coming out publicly and saying that this winter is going to be a winter of death for those who are unvaxxed. I think that's pretty profound. And that same sentiment was echoed, not just on the financial channels, but all over the place. That's the narrative right now. If you don't get vaxxed, you're going to die. Even if you don't get the booster, you may not even be fully vaxxed, according to Fauci. They are really determined to get whatever is in that thing in your body. Okay, if you want it, that's your choice. It's whatever. Anyway, so all that fear with regard to this moronic strain spreading at its fastest. Actually, the narrative is moronic is spreading faster than any other variant. It has scientists baffled. They just can't figure it out. Look, it's all about fear. You make people afraid of one thing, you can control their minds. That's really the truth. Going back, time in freaking memorial. I think we all know that. All right. Anyway, that rattled the markets here. With regard to supply chain disruption issues and demand concerns, you got crude taking a hit here. And stocks did fall under some pressure. But look, risk in this market is cratering, people. What does that mean? What does it mean to Greg Mannarino? Look, let me explain something to you about Greg Mannarino. All right. Greg Mannarino could not possibly be more immersed in this market. It's all I do. I think about it constantly. I am looking at dynamics in this market constantly, trying to come up with the best possible scenario for you and me. Again, not just for myself here. I'm out here not for my health, okay? Although I look bad, right? Anyway, I'm out here because I want to make a difference in the world. I want you to make a difference in the world. We're going to pay it forward. That's what it's all about. It's got to start with you and me. We can't rely on anyone else, especially people who blow ponies. I'm sorry, I'm on that. But he is right. I look terrible on camera. Bo Poloni, you're right. I look bad on camera. But thank you for letting me know that. Anyway, so people, that's the story here. Fear, and more fear. With that said, when you see fear in this market, if you smell blood in the water, okay, that's what we're smelling right now. That's the time to strike. For my lions, that's the time to pounce, especially when we have, again, people, I'm going to tell you, the best indicator that I have ever seen, even though I created it myself, which does gauge risk in this market. Yes, I am talking about the MMRI. Free to anyone who wants to look at it. It's right here. In the description of this video, there is a link to my website where the MMRI is just right there for all of you. I want us to take advantage of everything that is thrown at us. For example, when you see fear in the market, well, that means there's opportunity, okay? Because people are scared. When people are scared, they make bad decisions, okay? Well, if people are going to be so foolish as to buy the propaganda, good, let them do that. Because people like you and people like me are going to jump all over it. We are going to pounce all over it. When you see Precious metals get hit, although they've been on a nice run lately. What are you going to do? You're going to dump your precious metals, your physical silver, your physical gold? No. You're going to look for opportunities to buy more. We know the rigging. The public rigger number one with regard to precious metals is JP Morgan. And I talk about this all the time. It's no secret that everybody on Wall Street, off Wall Street, the commodities exchange itself knows it's JP Morgan. And they smile with their smug faces here, rigging not just the precious metals market. They rig every part of the market here. LIBOR, you name it, they're rigging the market. And all they do is pay a fine after fine after fine, which is baked into the cake. You know, those fines are really bribes. You realize that, right? They're paying off bribes with these fines here. And they're going to continue doing this until they are stopped, which they will never be stopped. They will rig and rig and rig and then rig some more because no one's going to get arrested ever. Okay? A Wall Street super bank can do anything they want at any moment. You know that. Anyway, it's corruption, people. The fall of empires of every empire going back as far as you want to go, they have one common theme. That common theme is corruption. You know, with that said, let's look at more corruption here. I made a chart for you. Now, you can see this chart for yourself. This is the Federal Reserve's balance sheet just for the last 3 months. I want you to have a look at this, okay? What do you notice, number one? It keeps inflating. We're at like $9 trillion right now, all right? You can go to the Federal Reserve website and look at this for yourself. Now, we understand that the Fed has been announcing tapers, right? Right here is their first taper that they announced recently. What happened? Oh, maybe we got a tiny dip, but they started buying again. Look where we are now. We got another announcement right here. Maybe we'll get another dip, but we're going higher. Okay, the Federal Reserve is lying to you. Imagine my shock. The Federal Reserve and the propaganda ministry, I'm talking about the mainstream financial channels, Steve Leisman, who is the biggest Fed brown-noser I've ever seen or heard of in the history of the world here, okay? They're talking about this taper as if it's something real, like the Fed is really going to start slowing down buying assets. Well, how about this? Is this proof? Oh, just over the last 3 months. Again, look, right here. That's where the first taper was announced. Okay, we got a slight dip, but look where we are now. We've rocketed higher. We've rocketed freaking higher, people. Lovely, right? It's not going to stop. If you and I realize it's a lie, there's no taper. The Fed will continue to buy historic amount of assets for as far as the eye can see. With regard to rate hikes coming next year, you know that it was announced again by the Fed that there's going to be 3 rate hikes. There will not be 3 rate hikes. And if the Fed maybe will hike rates relatively soon, but it will be so infinitesimal. It will not make any difference. The Fed is determined to fill their end game. You know that, people. They have no intention whatsoever to stop inflating. Central banks around the world, that's their goal, people. I've told you this for freaking years. I've nailed it to the wall, and you and I have capitalized on this over and over. It's not going to stop. Look, what do I tell you all the time? Greg Mannarino has your back. I will never let you down. Never. Even if you're a Greg Mannarino hater, and there are a lot of Greg Mannarino haters. You know why there's Greg Mannarino haters? Because Greg Mannarino speaks the truth. Everything that I say here in these video blogs can be verified as truth. All of it. Until someone can disprove something I say, well, let me know where I'm getting this wrong here. Again, I study this stuff around the clock. I believe I've kept all of you in the right spots. I've told you how to capitalize on this market. We're not going to stop. We are not going to stop. Okay, the Fed's not going to stop. Central banks around the world are not going to stop. The propaganda is going to get worse. Understand, look, the lies, the misdirection, the look here's, the don't look here's, it's all going to get worse. Again, it's about control. It's about mind control. They're trying to warp people's sense of reality. They are desperate to convince people that what they are seeing is not real. For example, every freaking week, we lose between 200,000 and 300,000 people a week to first-time unemployment claims. Net every month, we're losing jobs. Our economy is contracting, people, at its fastest pace on record ever as a percentage of GDP. You're not allowed to know these things. Again, you must be told that everything is beautiful. Our economy is so strong. It's a lie. All of it on top of the Federal Reserve's hyper-ballooning balance sheet. I keep referring back to this. That's just the last 3 months, people. It's not going to stop. You want to talk about something that's out of control? The Federal Reserve's balance sheet right now, the one we're allowed to see. Understand, every corporation has 2 balance sheets. The one the public is allowed to see, and then they have another balance sheet that's hidden from sight. The off-balance sheet operations that they perform. Now, we understand that we're allowed to see that the Federal Reserve has around $9 trillion right now on their public balance sheet, okay? The Fed has another balance sheet, which includes all of this stuff we're not allowed to see. No one is allowed. Not even the President of the United States, doesn't matter who you are. Again, they are a private organization. Could you imagine that a private organization, a private entity is in control of the entire financial system, and not just here in the United States? This is a phenomenon all over the world. And the Fed is the hub, okay, because we have the world, the United States has the world reserve currency, or I should say the Federal Reserve has the world reserve currency, okay, via the petrodollar system, the fiat monetary system, the debt-based economic model. If people really understood the real reasons why debts and deficits continue to balloon, if people really understood the reason why we don't have a budget is because we can't. The nature of the beast is that debt must be borrowed into existence in greater and greater and greater amounts just to sustain where we are. You understand? Once we stop that mechanism, we collapse. I told you, we could end the Fed in a nanosecond. You see this right over here? End the Fed. George Gammon, thank you. You gave me that. We could end the Fed in a nanosecond. All we need to do is have one president. I was hoping it was going to be the last guy, Trump. Okay, I think a lot of you did too. You bought into the nonsense and the propaganda. I told you it all was. All he had to do was stop the Fed from printing $1 extra or creating $1 extra out of thin air. Just one. The entire debt-based economic model collapses in a nanosecond. Okay, but you see, the Fed can do whatever it wants to. It can say whatever it wants to and do something completely different, okay? That is exactly what they're doing. So with regard to the taper announcements, I just proved to you, and you can see for yourself one more time, they're not tapering a damn thing. That's when the first taper was announced. Okay, there was a dip, but look at how it works. You know, it's a little up and down thing here, but taper, really? How about we've gone much higher? How about we're going much higher now too? People, look, I explained to you, I think it was Friday. It was Friday. I have laid all this out for you, and I have been spot on. I told you when that first wave of inflation was going to hit, and it did. I told you when a second wave of inflation was going to hit, and that hit too. With the Federal Reserve continuing to buy assets at a historic pace here, flooding dollars around the world, dollarizing the world, okay? The floodgates have been opened now with regard to inflation. We have this is economics 101, people. All of these extra bills, in whatever form they may exist, are now chasing the same or less amount of goods because we have these supply chain disruptions, okay? Boom! Inflation. So a third wave is going to hit. And I'm not even saying that's the last one, but we're going to get hit with another wave of inflation that's going to be a lot worse than the previous two. And then you're going to hear this. I'm going to give you a little preview here. The financial channels commentators, they're going to sit there going, what's happening? The Fed tapered. They're not buying as many assets, and they're gonna hike rates. What's going on? They have no idea, people. Again, their job is to read a teleprompter. They have no idea how the financial markets work whatsoever. They're just hired actors. Me and you, we know the situation. We don't have to read a teleprompter, you see, because we have a functioning brain. Having a functioning brain is really a positive thing. Most people, again, are kept in a state of fear on purpose. They have been dumbed down purposely so they can't understand what's going on. They're kept in an overwhelmed state, not understanding what's happening to them. There is a massive shift going on here with regard to demographics, people. I explained this to you over the past several months. And I told you this would come from years ago, a new feudal system, a complete and total wipeout of the middle class. People in the middle class continue to borrow beyond their eyeballs. Again, household debt, personal debt continues to skyrocket. People are applying for credit cards at a faster pace than they ever have in history as they're trying to make ends meet, trying to get through the so-called transitory phase of inflation, which we now understand was not transitory. And this guy told you from day one it was a lie. I said it was a lie. And they were sitting there, the Federal Reserve chairman and the Federal Reserve presidents telling you repeatedly, oh, it's transitory. It's transitory. Bullshit. They knew it wasn't because you and I knew it wasn't. How is it? Explain this to me, please, while I got you here. Why is it that the Federal Reserve and politicians can get away with lying to us over and over and over again without any consequences? You know, maybe a politician will get voted out of office because they are not the real government anyway. But the Federal Reserve, who is the real government, how is it that they can lie to us, bold-faced lie to us repeatedly, and nothing ever happens? Just like JP Morgan, they can continue to rig every single aspect of this market. Not one arrest. Just a bribe, payoff. That's all it is. That's all it is. Corruption, people, is at a feverish pace right now, and it's about to get much worse here. So, people, what can we expect also moving forward? What we have seen is history being made over throughout the last president, the one before him, and the current retard president. Bad economic news. And I told you all that as long as the bad economic news keeps coming, the market would go higher. I said the economy would continue to free fall and the stock market would go higher. Remember this? How many of you have been with me for years? I told you this would happen. That's exactly what has happened. Okay. And I don't need the Bible to predict how the market's going to work. There's another shout out to you, Mr. I Blow Ponies. Bo Poloni, whatever your name is. Anyway, people, look, all this stuff is too easy for us. Now, look, moving forward into next week, all right, I still believe we're going to get the Santa Claus rally. Once the fear trade plays out, you're going to see cash flow into the market, okay? Unless, of course, for some reason they want to keep playing up this fear trade, unless, of course, they throw another variant at us. But you see, then I don't believe they're going to do that. Here's the deal with regard to the fear campaign and moronic, Omicron, whatever it is. They're going to milk this for whatever it's worth. Okay, once they've milked Omicron for whatever it's worth, or moronic for whatever it's worth, then, of course, they're going to introduce another variant, okay, to keep people more afraid and to keep the vaccines coming here. What is going to happen here is more boosters, more vaccines, more a redefining of what it means to be fully vaccinated here. So, get ready to roll up your sleeve because you got a lot more coming, people. They're going to pump you so full of chemicals and everything else you can think about that you have no idea. And people are going to willingly surrender to it. Although there is some resistance here. I think that's a lot of the fear campaign that's going on. People are resisting getting this booster because they're calling bullshit. All right. And people have had enough. Again, I'm still waiting for those my body, my choice. Where are you? Where are all you retards? All right. Oh, it only matters if you're aborting fetuses and okay. But with regard to anything else, it doesn't matter. Oh, I got it. I see where you're coming from here. Look, it's all just dog shit. Everything is just dog shit. People, but you and I, we have the upper hand because we have a few functioning brain cells, and that's just going to make us sail right through all this. It really is. I love all of you people. I really, really do. Please share the video. Get it out there. Comment here. Let me know what you think. Tell me where I got it right. Tell me where I got it wrong. I'm not too old, believe it or not, to learn anything. We're in this together, you and me. This is not just Greg Mannarino's thing. This is our thing, okay? And I really believe this. You and me are making a difference in the world. And that's really all that matters to me. Making a positive difference in the world. If we can do that, we've succeeded, honestly. All right. See you all in the morning. And, well, that's it.